Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I hope you enjoyed the exhibition so far. It seems that you had some great night last night. So I think that's normal for Friday in the morning, right? So it's still, I remember during my study, so Friday morning, the room was almost empty. But you are the hardliners. Very good. Okay. So good morning. My name is Jörg Roskowitz. I'm in charge of the solution architects inside AMD, responsible for AI and Web3. I started my journey at AMD 16 years before, and the last almost 7 years I was working in the blockchain business. And today I want to give you a little bit more insight about what we are doing, because at the end everything must run on hardware. It doesn't matter if it's in the data center, running by a cloud provider like Google, or if it's on the edge device, your smartphone, your mobile phone, your tablet, or your notebook PC. But let's get started. So yeah, blockchain or Web3 is an evolution of the internet. And it's very interesting to see how technology is working and how technology is getting involved into the market. And you can see parallelism to former technologies we had in history. And it was very interesting, specific to see the first paradigm shift we had end of the 90s with the big player like Google, Facebook, and Amazon developing the internet and developing the applications based on the internet. And just to have a kind of a déjà vu with blockchain business, I clearly remember that time having an analysis from a couple of scientists about Amazon. I still remember this was 1999, where they did a white paper about, oh my God, if I do one transaction to purchase one good at Amazon store, it takes me 2 pounds of coal per customer per order. So if I multiply this to all the people living on planet Earth, we will explode. So conclusion that time was, not a good technology, makes no sense, and it will not sustain. Just look a couple of 20 years later, it's a standard. We are pressing the button 5 times a day maybe to order something online, and we are using it every day with our smartphones, right? And we could not think about how to survive without that technology anymore. Similar to the blockchain ecosystem. So we started a couple of years back with lots of complaints. So blockchain is Bitcoin and Bitcoin is evil, only criminals are using it. So it was the same thing essentially, right? And we covered the same technical problems, latency, scalability. We had those issues which needs to be covered, which needs to improve by all the players like the Ethereum development team, switching from proof of work to proof of stake to improving the algorithm and all these kind of things. And it's very interesting to see the steps which has been done after releasing the white papers, releasing stable coins, decentralized finance. I think this is one of the important ones, the NFTs, because the NFTs, from my point of view, is the next step for a digital rights management. It's enhancing security specific if you have a licensing model. And we see this already happening on Adobe, Microsoft, using this kind of technologies. And more big players are moving into it. Not only the movie makers, the art makers to secure their goods they developed. Then 2 years back, we had a big hype around the metaverse, combining all these technologies. And as of today, I want to talk a little bit about zero knowledge as well as machine learning and AI, which is the next big hype and an accelerator moving the world into the digital age. And this is very interesting to see because AI will fit perfectly into the blockchain world. Just think about storage, for example. So we are supporting the community and the partners in regards to distributed storage solutions. And I will tell you a little bit more about that. But before we start into this, Just some business numbers. It all starts with the business numbers, right? If you come to an idea to your manager, he will always ask, okay, if I support you, what will be the outcome? And so just a year ago, we talked about that the business will raise from 30 billion up to 150 billion in 2027 around AI, machine learning AI, infrastructure. And this is very interesting, so because this year, those numbers has been a lot raised. So now we're talking from 45 billion to up to 400 billion after 2027. And this sounds reasonable because if we can currently see what is necessary in terms of computational power to cover all these machine learning, AI, and storage-based systems, it's phenomenal. So we're already talking about 35,000 nodes or clusters, which are already online serving the machine learning AI. And it's raising exponential, as you can see in the growth chart. So why it is running exponential? Just imagine taking the example from OpenAI. ChatGPT is 3.5 is offering a 30 billion model, so which is already an old one. To get this trained, you need about 700 GPUs, high-end GPUs, to get this done in 1 hour. It's amazing to see how much compute power you need to train just one model. It's just one model. If we talk about ChatGPT 4, which is the current one, the licensed one, you have an 80 billion model, and this will require a lot more compute power. And as we know, technology, what is valid today won't be valid in the next year. It will double or even triple the amount of the requirements. And this is very important to get mentioned. But let's step back to the blockchain business. So I want to give you a little bit more insight about what we are doing with our partners in regards to distributed storage, because storage is one of the key pillars for blockchain as well as for AI. Because all the content you are creating, it doesn't matter if it's in the metaverse, if it's a neural network you will run for a large language model, for stable diffusion, or for image detection, or whatever else, needs to be stored. And it should be stored distributed. And here we are working with a couple of partners and consortiums. So the first one is the ESPA, the Enterprise Storage Provider Accelerator. And they having workshops and consortium activities every quarter in Las Vegas. And we are working together with the developers, like Picnic, with ElioEP, with Protocol Labs, with Filecoin, to get the hardware improved to make it more efficient and more reliable for the customers. There are activities in the Decentralized Storage Alliance. They are more focused on the Asian market. So ESPA is more focused on North America as well as EMEA. And Decentralized Storage Alliance is more focused on the Asian area. We are working very close with Google Cloud Storage, which is also very interesting. So now the big players are coming in and offering their blockchain-based solution, which is great, because this is showing us clearly we are on the right track. The people, the community, they are picking up on the technology, and they want to be part of the technology, because it's reaching the next level of security. We have partner solutions, and you will get a little bit more about Picnic, as well as about Protocol Labs and ElioVP providing those system as a system solution provider in the cloud space. So this is Picnic, which is having a big facility in Nevada. And why I'm highlighting there. And I want to show you the connection between blockchain and AI. They're working with a very interesting customer in US. They are called HCK History. HCK History is storing and using Picnic's facility historical data about interviews from Holocaust people. So that's the first thing where the blockchain part is in. So where AI is coming into that business, and this is very interesting. So normally, if you want to check those documents, those videos, you need to open it and you need to watch them completely. So that was the old way. So with AI, there will be automatically a bot generated about the interviewed person, and you can ask directly that person what was happening, for example, in 1943, winter-December time frame happening to your family, whatever. So if this was mentioned in the interview, the bot will answer exactly what this person was telling in the interview. And that's a great business. And we all know historical documents are very important. So we need to make sure that historical documents will be proven and not changed or manipulated. And therefore, blockchain for distributed storage will be essential. Another great example we have with ELUVP. So ELUVP is building those data centers within a container structured environment. And this is kind of plug and play and very interesting because we currently see a trend where more and more people asking about flexible data centers. So to give you an example, we have one large customer in Europe. They are building those containers for soccer games and stadiums. So the stadiums, they don't want to afford for the servers to have them in each and every stadium to calculate the goals, to have the rendering and all this kind of stuff. So they are renting those containers and getting the full performance of those capabilities. And with that concept, this partner is offering both, so machine learning, AI, HPC, as well as blockchain in regards to blockchain distributed storage solutions in a container space environment. How this all will be driven. So we all know, we have spoken about, there are great solutions, there is blockchain, there is AI, there is machine learning, but at the end, everything must run on hardware. And here, I just want to give you a subset on the products, for example, we are driving. So it's starting with the Epic, which is our server lineup, Instinct, which is our graphics lineup in the enterprise area. We have Xilinx, FPGAs, Alivo, Xilinx Versal, and Pensando, which we just recently acquired. FPGAs will also become very important in the machine learning inference segment. So just think about security enhancements, which will be driven by AI, for example, in switches. So with those kind of smart switches, you can control or you can detect more efficient about intrusions and hacking capabilities. Or you just use it to have a better communication between the nodes connected to the switch. So there will be so many new products you will see where AI capabilities will be driven as well by FPGAs. Just to give you a little bit about insight about what we are doing with our chiplet architecture, and that's important, specific if you have new technologies like blockchain or AI, you need to be very fast as a silicon manufacturer to adopt the technology to the customer's needs. And I like the explanation with the LEGO subsystem. So chiplet is nothing else having a base plate. And on top of the base plate, you can put the different bricks, right? And you can choose different bricks, 4x4, 4x8, 2x3. And you can connect all different architectures together. This has a big benefit that you can react very fast and you can keep the silicon very small, because the smaller the silicon, the higher the throughput from a wafer will be, and with that you will protect the environment because you have the most possible yield out of the solutions. Of course, you have different requirements in the market, therefore there are different subset of products. So within our latest generation of Epic CPUs, we are tailored more for core density, another SKU more for single thread performance, high frequency, and the third one with a very, very large subset of cache, which is important for a lot of zero-knowledge proof workloads specific in the blockchain environment. Just talking a little bit about the graphics subset. So because graphics is currently controlling and calculating all the AI and machine learning stuff, and is also playing a role within distributed storage to do the proof points for the validations and for the transactions if you move or if you want to catch some data. So here we have currently just released our MI300 flagship, which will be an exascale data center card. And also here, the technology is moving further. It's not a PCIe card anymore. It's an OAM module based on the OCP standard. So which means it's a lot bigger card with lots more of connections directly mounted to the CPU. So yeah, this will give you a little bit more insight about the latest version. So we have released the MI300X, which is specific for machine learning AI, with a lot of capabilities in terms of CUs. So we have above 334 compute units. We have about 192 gigabyte of HBM frame buffer, which is a lot. So you have never seen this before on a GPU device. And this is just showing also on the AI business how fast those billions of parameters in the large language models are raising. I would not say year by year, it's already months by months. It's ridiculous. It's very interesting. And I would even say that at least in my lifetime, this is the fastest growing business I ever have seen so far. Yeah, those are just the parameters we discussed. Coming to the software ecosystem. So we all know that one of the most important parts are the software ecosystem. And here we have our ROCm utility, Radeon Open Compute Platform, which is similar what NVIDIA is providing with CUDA. So with that, we are providing the latest and greatest frameworks in the AI space. So talking about PyTorch, ONCs, JAX, and TensorFlow. And this is also very interesting. So we all learned in the blockchain ecosystem, it's a decentralized system, a distributed system. So that means in the blockchain side of things, in the blockchain world, we learned we need to make sure working with open source software and open platform-based solutions. Because the reality is, today I'm using solution A, tomorrow solution B, and the day after tomorrow solution C. Same in AI and machine learning. So what we can see on the framework side of things, the majority and the big players, they all relying on open platform and open source. We even have seen it recently from Meta, based on Llama 2, becoming an open platform vendor and moving away from their proprietary strategy they had in the early beginning. And this is important. And with our ROCm API, we make sure that this is compatible to all the products we are providing. So that means if you develop something based on blockchain or AI on a Radeon workstation, you can port it one-to-one to an Instinct data center solution. And that's key, because developers, they will not have a server beside them, right? They will work on a desktop machine or on a workstation machine. And with that software ecosystem, everything you develop on a Radeon card will automatically work in the data center on an Instinct-based solution. Just a couple of things in regards to AI. There are currently two big frameworks we are currently covering. It's inference, and the second one is the training. Very interesting in regards to the data center business is something around 70 to 75% is based on inference. So that means those are cloud hosters where the customers are already using pre-trained neural networks for their solutions. If we look into that solutions, about 80% are large language models. And this is nothing else than chatbots like ChatGPT. I think, and I don't know how the business is in Taiwan, but in Europe as well as in US, we can see a lot of companies now using those chatbots for their customer service. And that's really great because the AI bot can automatically detect languages, can answer in that particular language, and can be focused on the customer product to answer questions. So this is currently the biggest business what we see, and the next big pillar is about 13% will be stable diffusion, generating images. I think all of you already played with that, great features. So you can do your own scenes, and just think about back what we have discussed on distributed storage. All this content needs to be stored somewhere. And this is also exponential growth we will see in the next couple of years, because talking about stable diffusion, today we are doing pictures, tomorrow we are doing movie scenes, and the day after tomorrow maybe complete movies out of machine learning or AI technology. Those are the two companies we acquired recently. It's about Not AI, so they are working on the open source AI compiler, and it's Mipsology. They are specifically optimizing on FPGA solutions, which we discussed before, specific for inference solutions. And this just as my last page, just to show that we are working with the open source community. Hugging Face, you know, it's the biggest repository for machine learning AI workloads. Very interesting also here. Currently they have something around 62,000 models stored, and they expect every year another 30,000 models. It's insane. It's really exponential growth we will see in the next couple of years in terms of the models the customers and the community will support and will develop. Together with PyTorch, PyTorch is already having 2/3 of the market because they are open platform and open source. So any hardware will be supported by PyTorch. It doesn't matter if it's an x86, if it's an ARM CPU, if it's an AMD GPU, an NVIDIA GPU, an Intel GPU, an FPGA. And this is key. And the other partners are doing similar, what we have discussed with ONGS, with DeepSpeed, MLRI, OpenCLA, OpenAI, Triton, Dynamo, just to mention a couple of them. Very exciting times. I'm looking forward to speak with you, and thank you very much.